Hello everybody. This is just a video of me trying to learn how to use ASP.NET because I have no clue on how to use it. So this is just a basic beginner course of me trying to fumble and bumble into becoming a professional ASP.NET developer. So first thing, let me just create a project. I have a number of projects. The thing about me with ASP.NET is I never really constantly tried to learn how to use ASP.NET. I've watched a couple of videos, I practiced a little bit, but I never really tried to consistently learn how to do it and learn the ins and outs of it and practice enough every day to say that I'm competent at ASP.NET. I think ASP.NET Core is the one I'm supposed to use because I'm trying to do the MVC framework. I'm going to hit yes to this. I'm just going to call it Web Application 5. And create it because I think ASP.NET Core you can use Model View Controller. Yes, you can. And in the back of me, I have just the instructions. I'm on Microsoft, and they give you instructions on how to use ASP.NET, the fundamentals. So I'm going to go through this and just try to learn this stuff. So we're creating Web Application 5, and while that's loading and stuff, let's go to get started. Alright, so this tutorial shows how to use .NET Core command line interface to create, loaded. The .NET Core command line interface to create and run an ASP.NET. You'll learn how to create a web app, trusted development certificate, run the app, edit Razor page. At the end, you'll have a working web page running on your local machine. So create a web app. Oh, do I really need to do that, or because I think I already created one. This says here, maybe I should enlarge some stuff here. So I know, okay, this is for I've done web programming before, obviously. But I'm more comfortable with PHP. I never really touched ASP.NET that much. But with the simple model view controllers, the views obviously is going to be the pages that you can see. Model is going to do the functionality of any type of databases you're going to use. The controllers is going to be the connection between the views and the models, and is going to direct you or do some type of coding, like, grabbing information from certain tables in order to output it into a view or something like that. So right now let's just go to home, which will probably be index. And here's another thing, I never really use Visual Studio that much. I think it looks pretty nice, but when you go into new editors, you sort of feel overwhelmed because they already have their own way of doing things. Let's see if I do Control plus will increase the font size because I wanted people to see. Oh shit, okay, so doing this, so I'm holding down Control and then I'm scrolling my mouse up in order to decrease the font size. That's great. I think people will be able to see it with this font size. Hopefully people will be able to see it, but it's all about me trying to learn this stuff right now. So trust the HTTPS development certificate. So I don't really need to learn all this stuff because the app is already ran, I think. Run the following commands. .NET. After command shell indicates that the app has started, browse to localhost. I don't think I even need to do that. I think I can just press this and it builds it out. See if there's any bugs. No issues found. I think it automatically opens up a page and transforms, and shows me the index or something. Let's just say. So my computer's loading. While it's loading, let's just look at a Razor page. So Okay, so localhost is going to be on 44357, which is interesting. Cool. And I'm assuming it's going to load the index.cshtml. While that loads, let's continue to read. Open pages index.cshtml and modify and save the page with the following highlighted markup. Hello world, the time on the server is date.time now. Interesting. Alright, well, let me try to stop this. And you see that there's the carousel thing. Why don't I do something pretty fun here? And I'll have a div. Okay. Alright, so just like with Atom, all you have to do is just hit div and then press the tab function to complete a div tag. So I'm going to call it the ID hello world, because why not? Hello world. And based on what they were telling me, I'm just going to copy this. Hello world, the time server is date.now. So I forgot what this is called, the @ symbol. I guess the @ symbol is one of the Razor's ways to show that. Well, let's run this. Maybe I have a very slow server, but it takes some time for it to build and run. Hello world, the time is 11:13, 11:13. Correct. Fantastic. Cool. Next steps. In this tutorial, you learned how to create web app, run the project, make a change. To learn more about ASP.NET Core, see the recommended path. Sure, why not? Let's also go to what's new. I don't think I'm in 3.0. I'm in 2.1. So it says here, Signal R has been rewritten for ASP.NET Core. Core 2.1.asp.net. God damn, there's so many dots. Core Signal includes a number of improvements: a simplified scale-out model, a new JavaScript client with no jQuery dependency. Ooh, cool. A new compact binary protocol based on message pack. I don't know what that means. Support for custom protocols. Don't know what that means. A new streaming response model. I think I know what that means. Support for a client based on bare WebSockets. I've heard of WebSockets, but technically I don't know what that means. Okay, so it just sent me here, and it says we recommend the following sequence of tutorials and articles and for an introduction to developing ASP.NET Core apps. So follow a tutorial for the type of app you want to develop or maintain. For new development, that shows how to do basic data access. Here's another thing I did. I actually bought a Udemy course. I forgot what it was. So I have a Udemy course on ASP.NET by this guy, Mosh Hamedani, or Haim Danny. Maybe his name is Haim Danny. Anyways, so we see here, get started with Razor. Alright, I don't know if I should go through here first or just go through the basics of here. You know what I'm going to do? I am going to go through these basics and I'm going to save this information to my .NET folder. So next time I do this, I can just continue to go down the list, figure out what the heck is going on. So let's just go through this one. This is the first tutorial of a series. The series teaches the basics of building ASP.NET Core Razor Pages web app. For more advanced introduction aimed at developers who are familiar with controllers and views, see Introduction to Razor Pages. At the end of the series, you have an app that manages a database of movies. View or download sample code how to download. In this tutorial, you create a Razor Page web app, run the app, examine the project files. At the end of this tutorial, you'll have a working Razor Pages web app that you'll build on in later tutorials. Okay. You have a working Razor Pages web app that you'll build on in later tutorials. Okay. So, Prerequisites, Visual Studio 2009, .NET Core 2.2, or later. So I have I think I have 2.1. I think the SDK is 2.1. When they say ASP.NET Core, they're talking about the SDK. I don't know. If you use Visual Studio 2017, see .NET with information. Okay, I know I'm using 2019. This is the 2019 version. All right. Also, I need to know if I'm using just Visual Studio. I think I'm just using Visual Studio. From the Visual Studio file menu, select New Project. Well, I don't want to select a new project. I already created it. And it's like this. I did that. Name the project Razor Pages Movies. I'm not going to name it that. Create a new ASP.NET Core web application. Ooh, I have the model view controller application. Okay, for this tutorial, I'll do this. So I'll create a new file. Maybe I should close this. Maybe I should save index.html and create a new project. Why can't I create a new project? What is start window? Okay, I'll create a new project like this. So I'm going to follow this thing again and try to create a new project. I'll close this out. I don't really need it like that. And I will create a new project and get a web application. So ASP.NET Core. And I'm naming the project Razor Pages Movies. And I'm going to place solution and project in the same directory. I only have 2.1, but they're asking me to do web application, so I will do it. Great. So we have all this stuff happening. Razor Pages movie. I only have one. So I guess I closed out of the other projects and entered the new project. So Razor Pages movies. Okay, and then you'll have pages, properties, root. Let's see what happens when here. Okay, so this is where we have all the images, CSS and JS. Okay, cool. Properties, dependencies, cool. Let me see what program this is. So I'm familiar with C# because it reminds me of Java, and since it reminds me of Java and I've used Java before, technically I'm familiar with it. I just think C# is a lot better. Okay, using startup. What does this mean? 2 references, 0 references, 0 exceptions. So maybe it means it was referring back to these libraries or something. I don't know. Interesting. Cool. Cool stuff. Cool beans. So press Control F5 to run without the debugger. Control F5 to run without the debugger. Alright, so run the app. Control F5 to run without the debugger. Visual Studio displays the following dialog. To run without debugger. Okay, let's hit Control F5 on this. Control F5. Wow, so this is pretty much the same thing. So within the pages, you probably have an index with the same data stuff. That's cool. That's fine. All right, use space following. This project is configured to use SSL to avoid SSL warnings. I'm not getting that information, so that's fine. Visual Studio starts ISS Express. So I think this is similar to Apache, right? Like it's just a server that serves up these files, so then you'll be able to see it on your local host of 44330. Self-contained version of IIS optimized for developers. IIS makes it easier to use the most current version of IIS develop and test website. It has all the capabilities IIS 7 and above, as well as additional features designed to ease website development, including it doesn't run as a service or require administrator user rights to perform most tasks. IIS Express works well with ASP.NET and PHP applications. Interesting. Multiple users of IIS Express can work independently on the same computer. The most current version of IIS 7.5. Most of you will want to use IIS Express with a web authoring tool that provides integrated experience. IIS is automatically included with Web Matrix, a new and complete tool that greatly simplifies web development. With Visual Studio SP1 allows IIS Express use as a web server instead of Cassini. You can also manually configure Visual Studio 2008. Use one of the following links to install IIS 7.5 Express using the web platform installer. Either of them will allow you to use IIS with Visual Studio. Okay. It's very interesting. So, and not something like example, that's because of localhost. So that's IIS, and not something like example, that's because the localhost is standard host name. Okay, makes sense. On the app's homepage, select accept to consent to tracking. This app doesn't track personal information, but the project template includes the consent feature in case you needed to comply with European Union's. Okay, I don't need to worry about all that. So yeah, I got that functioning and running. Here's an overview of the main project folder. Pages folder, of course, has the files of HTML or CSTML. It contains HTML markup and C# code with Razor syntax. The apps.j contains configurations such as connection. Let's get this. Said app. What was it? App settings.json. Okay, it's this. So this is sort of like a. I forgot what it was called. With Node.js, it's called it's not called npm.json. It's not called that, but it's similar to Node.js, where they have a configuration files of all the downloaded libraries. Contain the entry port for the program. I think I opened that up somewhere. Public class program. Main create web host. args build.run. Public static. iWeb host create web host builder. String args web host create default. I'm pretty sure there's some type of default builder. You startup. Alright, cool. Alright, so what's next? Next step, let's add a model. Alright, let's add a model then. Let's save this too. Add a model to Razor Pages in ASP.NET Core. Alright. In this section, classes are added for managing movies in a cross-platform SQLite database. Oh, we're using SQLite. Apps created from ASP.NET Core use the SQLite database. The apps model classes are used with Entity Framework. to work with a database. Oh, it's already 20 minutes. Yeah, this is just me just trying to learn ASP.NET. I hope anybody watches it appreciates it, because this is me trying to develop myself to be a strong C# or ASP.NET developer. Thanks for watching.